Uh, LaMea from Utah, and then William Sherman. So those are two offensive linemen we were able to sign on the practice squad there. And other than that, medically, Tully was a DMP with the back, Dylan was a DMP with the toe, Chase was a DMP with the calf, Trevor was limited with the toe, and then Trey Palmer was limited with the hamstring. So that's our injury report. And any questions?
The back is obviously a new ailment for Tully. Is that something he had been dealing with prior to the game, during the game?
Yeah, it's just something that came up. Yeah, it's just something to try and get ahead of. And so there's just some maintenance stuff for Tully as we go through this process. And so, he's doing everything he can, and just like last week.
Is there a better chance you think you get Chase Young back this week?
We'll see how it goes. Didn't practice today, but we'll see how the next couple days go. And so, usually Thursday, Fridays give us more clarity than Wednesdays. Sorry, who?
Dylan?
Toe.
Is Florida still dealing with the knee as well?
Yeah, he's got a little combination. Yeah, so he's just got some maintenance stuff. But the back's really the thing that we were focused on today. So.
And what's the extent of Dylan's toe?
Yeah, he just had a toe injury come up during the game, and so we'll just kind of see how it goes. Again, no practice today, and we'll see how the next couple days progress for those guys.
But it's not like obviously it's a triple toe.
Yeah, it's not to. Yeah, we're not. He's not going to IR or anything, but we'll just have to see how this thing progresses.
For Chase, is this an injury that is lingering a little longer than maybe was initially anticipated? Or is there a setback?
No setback. Yeah.
With Carl Greider says he's got off to start like a strong start to the season before. Obviously, that's 3.5 now. But what's kind of the key for him to maintain this level of production? I know it's going to be different for him.
Yeah, it's a great question. Obviously, on my exposure so far this year, and obviously, I can't say enough good things about what Grando's been doing for us. His play style is everything you want to preach to a team. His example shows up week in and week out, every practice, every game, and it shows up with the production. His ability to have impact plays in the run game, and then also in the pass game. Obviously, he's been able to generate some sacks, and so he's doing a lot of good things, and he's taking advantage of the opportunities presented.
What does he do well as a pass rusher?
I think just relentless effort. Obviously, he's got really good burst. But I think his effort and finish is really special.
When you look back at the first two games, I think I asked this Sunday, but it's right after the game. Do you find positives in how close you've been, or does that wind up making it more frustrating for you? Like, when you look at what you've done in the first two games, how do you grade the fact that you were right there twice?
Yeah, I think just big picture wise, the way our guys battle and compete and play each and every down, we have a lot to get better at. We got a lot to close the margins to give ourselves the opportunities to win these games. We're right there. We just aren't doing enough what winning teams are doing, but can never take for granted the way our guys are competing and playing to go, fall into a 2-score deficit late in the game and to rally back and still have opportunities really both games. And so our guys are doing the right things. We just got to clean up the execution, the operation. For myself, I'm always trying to find ways, how can I improve this, how we call the game, and so we'll just keep getting better.
Is it possible that Penning plays this week, or do you think he needs a little bit of a ramp?
We'll just see. Yeah, I think for anybody coming off of something, you're going to kind of have some exposure. We have to see how everything responds, and then we'll see how it goes.
Are you guys creating the space you want, like on inside zone runs, like between, from guard to guard? Like, you get the space you want on those runs?
We're always emphasizing the double teams and the opportunities to get to the second level, and so I think it's certainly a work in progress. We're close. We haven't hit the explosives yet. From an inside zone perspective, we're able to get to the second level and then get to the safeties. But there's progress being made there, and we just got to get better.
What is your thoughts? Sam Darnold was one of the great stories last year. Just maybe throughout his career, I know maybe scouting him coming out, just kind of what happened in New York and then where he is now.
Yeah, I think Sam's just a great example of the development of quarterbacks in our league, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time and being in the right situation and right environment. I thought what he did last year at Minnesota was really special. He carried a team and put them in an awesome position to make a playoff run and have tons of success up there. And so, I feel like he's in a great situation. I thought he played some really good football last week against Pittsburgh. He's a really good quarterback in this league. He's earned it, and so it'll be a challenge for us.
Facing off against Clint Cooper, how much does it help to have in-house film of what he did with this offense last year?
Again, it's the NFL. There's overlap all over the place in our profession, and so I have a ton of respect for Clint. I've always loved what he's done every stop he's been, and so they're really creative on offense. They're really physical in the run game. They create play action opportunities. They get completions. They're doing a really good job.
What kind of stress does that wide zone system put on a defense?
Yeah, it's just discipline, and you got to be assignment sound, and one guy in the wrong gap creates an explosive, big time, game changing run, and so and then all the movement that comes off it, all the play action stuff, and so he does a really good. Clint always has done a really good job of just tying everything together and really stressing it every single down.
Is there a focus around that about trying to beat them to the point of attack, or is it more about forcing them to do something that they're uncomfortable with? Like, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, there's obviously a multitude of things that they can do, and I think what's really good about their system is they kind of have the counter moves built into it. I think, obviously the run game is a huge part of this thing, no question about it. You got to do a really good job and play really well on first and second down to earn the right to play those third downs, and then we got to finish in those third down situations, and so that'll be the formula for this one.
Did Trevor stay engaged with what y'all were doing while he was covering it? I mean, obviously they're making the big position switch and everything.
Yeah, he's done an excellent job. He's done everything he can through a recovery process. He's been in meetings, and he's done a lot of good work over the course of the last few weeks.
What stands out about Seattle's defense, just where they present the problem?
Yeah, I have a ton of respect for Mike. Going all the way back to Baltimore, we played him a couple times when he was there, and so they're really, really sound. They're really sound. They're all tied together. They don't give you don't see a bunch of freebies in games. You don't see blown coverages, miss run fits, and turn into explosives. You're going to earn everything, and he has a really good ability and balance of playing the patience game and then finding those really opportune times to pressure you. And so it's a really talented group. When you look at really this whole entire group is the same as what they had last year, and then they added some really good pieces like a DeMarcus Lawrence and some of those guys, and so it's a really talented group.
In terms of their pass defense, why would you say they are second in the league in interceptions right now?
They're playing really good. They're creating pass first opportunities. They're creating situations where they're in pass rush mode, play with vision on the ball, and really pounce on opportunities in that situation. So, when you look at last game, they had a really big time one in the red zone, a tip interception. That was a critical play in that game. And so, they've had really opportune turnover opportunities, and they've taken advantage of them.
It looks like they get a lot of pressure without actually blitzing a lot. Do they muddy up that picture in the front as well as anybody?
They do a really good job. I think maybe a little bit of San Francisco in the sense of, they create just one-on-one opportunities and they create edges. I think they rush really well together. This is arguably one of the best teams as far as a rush group, as far as working together. You can tell, there's a lot of times where someone's really given a big-time assist. He's doing something to create a one-on-one opportunity or create a path for someone else to get the sack, and that's the thing that jumps out. They're really well coached with Mike. AD, the defense coordinator, was in Dallas with me. They're really well coached, and so they do a really good job in those situations.
Do they use Julian Love like Kyle Hamilton-ish? Is that chess?
Yeah, they certainly have some chess pieces on the back end. I think their back end, obviously there's some investment there, but there's just really talented players who have some ability to play, safety to nickel, nickel to outside corner in a few situations, and so they can move these pieces around a little bit.
Do you remember your thoughts on Smith and Jigba when coming out? You guys took a receiver one pick later.
Yeah, he's really good. He's a really good player. I think the world of him. He played a ton of slot at Ohio State, but I think what's really proven is all those guys who maybe played one position at Ohio State, they've become really premier players in this league. Chris is another good example for us, and so he's just done a really good job. And then you add Cooper Kupp in there, and now that receiver room just has some really high football IQ, and they can do a number of things. They can put them in a lot of different positions.
When Trevor is healthy enough to play, does he immediately slot into the starter, or do you consider him not really there?
Yeah, we anticipate him going when healthy. He's ready to go. I thought he did a phenomenal job all off season, and we'll see how everything progresses though.
What are the benefits of being in shotgun so much, and why do you like that formation?
Yeah, there's just quarterback wise, you can play in the shotgun. Obviously from a pass game perspective, you can see it a little bit cleaner. We have the run game tied together with it. I think one thing that I think the last couple stops I've been trying to be more conscious of having the ability to run the football in the gun and not be so one-dimensional in that situation. But I thought our guys have done a good job, and we can still get in the pistol, we can still get under center in situations, and we'll see how it all goes.
What do you like about Juwan being able to not just take snaps in line, but also even has worked out the backfield a little bit, just switched it up?
Yeah, he's got position flex, and we like the opportunity when we have to move these guys around a little bit. And so Jawan's done some good pieces. He lined up in the backfield a couple times last week. We'll see how this game plan progresses. And so yeah.
Do you know, Mike, you mentioned him, like respect for him, I guess parallels, like he came in as the youngest coach in the NFL, replacing kind of after Russ and after Pete, kind of a long run there. It's kind of similar coming in here to him. Do you know him at all? Did you talk to him about that, maybe at the owners' meetings or anything?
Yeah, certainly we've crossed paths really in competitive situations for the most part, competing against him, whether he was at Baltimore or now in Seattle. And so, obviously we've crossed paths at owners' meetings and whatnot. A ton of respect for him. I thought, what he's done and building that program, you can see how they've progressed last year and certainly going into this year. And so he's just doing an awesome job. He's building a really special program up there. They're doing really, really good things.
Do you have someone that's kind of like the game management specialist? Like it used to be Rizzy. Like, is there someone now that does that on your staff?
Yeah, it's a combination. Scott Lenahan's the main voice for me. He's upstairs, and so obviously I've worked with Scott for a number of years, and he's kind of seen it all, and so he's kind of that steady voice in the box, and we have a couple other people up there that are able to help with some of the decision-making factors.
Do you find out if Vernon needs surgery?
No, I don't have that answer yet, but I know, IR.
After you guys brought in Julian Blackman, one of the first things you said was how well his ability to be complemented, Justin, being able to move closer to the line of scrimmage. Do you feel like Jonas's skill set right now is able to complement Justin in a similar way?
Yeah, I think both those guys can really play in both areas of the field. I thought, looking back at the film again, Jonas, I thought just did a really good job. He did a really good job. He had some impact plays as far as making some tackles. Thought he put himself in some good position in the pass game. There's things that he's going to get to clean up as this goes. That's what happens when it's the second game of your NFL career, and we feel like we got a great tandem back. Those guys are going to do awesome for a long time for us.
I know you were asked about it Monday. I apologize. I know you played there or coached there professionally, but you were like 3 hours away. Did you ever go to a game there as a fan, family, friends, anything like that?
Yeah, I've been there. I think 1 year we played a high school game there, and been to a couple games over the years there. And so, it's a cool place. It's a great atmosphere. I think our guys are excited about the opportunity to have your first road game in one of the best atmospheres in the NFL. And so it'll be a fun challenge for us.
There was the Beast Wing game too, right?
Yeah,
You said you played a high school game?
I did.
You did play.
Yeah.
Okay.
Were you just a fan in January 2011?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Fan there?
Yeah, we had already played our bowl game in college, and so went to it.
You mentioned before about how Seattle does a really good job of forcing turnovers. Spencer hasn't really had a fumble like this, but is that a big improvement for him this year of just avoiding turnovers in general? Is that kind of one of the bigger growth areas you've seen from him?
I think it's something that's shown through the whole offseason program. We kind of talked about as we navigated this quarterback decision. I thought he was just really consistent through the whole offseason program. And so, there's going to come a time he's going to throw an interception. That's just what the numbers are in the NFL. Eventually it happens. But what he's done is he's just done a great job putting us in really good position to be successful. He's good, making really good decisions. He's using his feet when he does have those opportune times. And so, there's a lot of positives there.
You mentioned during the quarterback competition that a big part of it would be about running the operation.
Yeah.
And so since he's kind of won that job to now, just why has he been so good at doing that?
Yeah, I think he's been very consistent, and he's making a really good decision. I think he communicates really well. I think our guys have been on the same page. We had a little bit, first game tempo, playing a little bit overly fast, really, is what most of it was. Other than that, I think our guys have communicated at a really high level. They're on the same page. They understand the assignments, and Spencer leads the way with that.
When a team targets a guy like Yadam, for instance, too much emphasis going after him a few times, is there anything you guys can do as a defense to avoid those matchups besides just not playing?
Yeah, there's a lot of different things he can do. And obviously, Ike's done a lot of good things for us. He'll continue to get better, just like all of us. It's the third week of an NFL season. I mean, we got plenty of football coming, and we got a lot of urgency to get better now. But schematically, we're continuing to evolve, add more pieces to our system and our arsenal, and different things that we can utilize. And so that's all part of the NFL journey of each week's a different task, and you got to solve some things that come up in your game and what the opponent's going to present, and that's the fun challenge for all of us.
Yeah, how hold that back and wait, how do you kind of handle it?
That's a good question. I think it's just, volume management. I think you're always evolving each week, but there's only so much time in the week. And so you got to be conscious of that to allow these guys to play fast and confident and free. Each week's going to present different challenges. The first month of the season, everyone's got new. Everything's kind of new for the first, it always seems like the first 4 weeks, there's a lot of moving pieces. And then teams start settling in as the season goes on, and you start kind of, guys have clear identities and approaches, and then you kind of start, playing the chess game a little bit from there. But there'll be plenty. Seattle's going to run a blitz, a new flavor. They're going to, Clint's going to dial up a couple play action shots, and he'll have some good flavors. And that's just what, September football is about.
Bailey, obviously just the one catch for the touchdown.
Yeah.
Does having a body like that in the red zone just make calling that part of the field a lot easier just with the options you have available?
Really good contested catch by him, using his body, using his size. Certainly there's value to that when you get down there. Jawan was on the same play. He kind of had a little red zone fade, and so certainly size will be beneficial down there.
What is like kind of the plan in the past for, I know he's not on the team right now, but Deckers, it seems like he's run off and on. What's the idea with developing him?
Yeah, we like Hunter, and so we're trying to develop him as best we can. Obviously, a lot of that's associated with the future, just with where our quarterback room is at. A fourth quarterback can be tricky on the roster, especially, injuries come up, and you just kind of got to navigate it the best you can. And so, we like Hunter in the future. Obviously, we've invested a lot of time. We've tried to utilize as many resources as we can just to, keep him here. And so, unfortunately, there's some challenges with the roster at times, and so he has had to navigate this moving piece a lot. But he's done a great job with it.
Have you guys settled into a routine where there's like a clock start and a clock end time, like Sunday night to Tuesday morning with it, or what is that time that you can have him in the building working with you?
That's really just based off when he's actually on the roster and when he's not, and so
Pick the time
yeah.
that it's like this is a good time of week to work with him.
No, I think we want to keep him here as much as we can, and so he's been able to practice a little bit with us here and there in some situations, and then some. Unfortunately, we had a number of injuries that come up, and we have to kind of address some positions. O-line became a little bit of a stress point, obviously, with our injuries, and so we had to use the roster spot for that. And so, obviously, our goal is to continue to develop him in any capacity we can.
What are the logistics of that like? Can you tell him to stick around in case, or is he going back to Iowa?
No, I think that's just kind of his personal preference as you kind of go through that, and we'll just see how this thing progresses. Obviously, we've been able to get him into some practices, and we'll just kind of keep finding opportunities for him.
Thanks,
Yep.
Thanks, Kellen.